Hello YouTube, this is Necrostevo and you're watching some of my narrated Wi-Fi battles. Hope you all are having a great week. It is Friday, so while we won't sing the song, I do hope you guys have a good weekend in store. Um, Today's matches are two matches that I had from the Striaton Challenge. The winner of that went up a little while ago. I'm not sure who it was. I'll have to go back and check. But that was a pretty fun tournament. Of course, I am still running the Sand Steam. As you can see here, this match is against Omen, uh, one of the guys who's actually one of the podcasters on the Striaton Radio, which is the podcast that does it. And since I saw that he had sand as well, I wasn't as worried about his team. But this match was actually extremely close, and it basically came down to a few things. I started off with Feint, expecting him to protect with one of his two opening Pokemon, and then most people really don't expect Tyranitar to have special attacks in doubles when it can carry things like Rock Slide, Stab Rock Slide, or Earthquake. So, getting that much damage off on a Mungus was nice. And of course, after you show your opponent the ability that you have the ability to break through their protects, it tends to force them to not use protect as much because then you'll just break through it anyway. So here, I thought he actually might try to switch up his protects, but he doesn't. Um, and he goes for Ice Fang, but that doesn't do anything because of the Intimidate that I hit him with earlier. And he goes for Giga Drain, and this actually does a pretty good chunk for me getting the special defense boost from the Sandstorm. So he is still in range of one final Ice Beam or Flamethrower to kill him. Of course, I've only shown those two moves so far, so my opponent doesn't necessarily know that I have Protect on Tyranitar, and they also don't necessarily know that I have Dark Pulse. Um, it's interesting that he's running Ingrain because typically when you have an Amoonguss on a doubles team, it's not going to switch out much anyway. Um, it's typically just going to sit in there and use Rage Powder or Spore. And so the fact that he used Ingrain, it almost allowed him to get enough HP back to live another Ice Beam. Here, anticipating his Amoonguss to go down, he smartly goes for the Earthquake. He gets a crit on Tyranitar, and that's important because based on damage calcs, there was a very, very, very tiny chance that that might have mattered just because I'm a little bit more defensive Tyranitar. Um, but of course, he's a completely offensive Sand Force, a Paladon, so it may not have mattered at all. Um, but you know, the crits kind of help make matches like these more interesting because Sandstorm on Sandstorm. I found that bringing Kabutops with my Sandstorm team is useful because he doesn't get hit by the Sandstorm, gets a specially defensive boost, and then I can also take care of water teams a little bit better. Here I wasn't sure what he would go for, but I didn't want to deal with Feraligatr, so I was targeting that, and I went for Wide Guard, expecting him to maybe Earthquake or Surf. I wasn't really sure which one. Feraligatrs can go mixed just because their special attack stat isn't that crappy. Um, Here I was expecting him to protect with one of them, and I didn't know which one, but I knew if I could get in safely with Garchomp here, I'd do a little bit better. And I get in semi-safely. That waterfall probably would have been taken a little bit less better by Kabutops than Garchomp. Garchomp is naturally a little bit more bulky. Here I make a bit of a misplay, and I have both of my Pokemon well, I think it's a misplay anyway. I had both of my Pokemon attack. One, knowing that he had double protects going on. When you know that your opponent has double protects, it's really not good to do that unless you have the ability um, to, of course, negate that with the Feint attack. Now he misses his Ice Punch, which would have killed Garchomp, of course. That's going to matter in the sense that his Volcarona is going to go down here. He gets the Flame Body Hacks, but it doesn't really matter because the damage is done. He does have the Psychic Gem boosted Psychic, probably specifically for things like Conch Elder or things like my Hitmontop. He's not going to knock me out with it just because I have the special defense boost from the Sandstorm. Um, so if my Garchomp weren't there, then I would have sent back out Hitmontop most likely, and I still had Nidoking left, who was Scarfed. So Nidoking could have easily taken out Hitmontop could have easily at least wide guarded or feinted to stop him from protecting, and then Nidoking would have outsped both of the remaining two Pokemon that he has left and taken them out with either Scarf Sludge Bomb, or I could have even used Scarf Thunderbolt. So that was a really close match. Interesting hacks there. I believe the second match that I have here is against Polirob, which is another one of my Twitter followers. Again, also in the I followed him on Twitter and he followed me before the challenge, so that was kind of cool. How the community kind of got involved with the Striaton challenge because there were a good amount of participants in that, and I would love to be able to run something like that myself. Now you notice from the team preview there he had a Licky Licky, a Camerupt, a Bronzong, so he's running much more unconventional Pokemon. So seeing that, I knew it's going to be appropriate to start off with Tyranitar, barring something like Licky Licky Airlock, or maybe Bronzong setting up Rain Dance. I can keep my weather up. Um, and then if I start off with Hitmontop, it's going to allow me to dodge normal gym explosions. It's going to let me dodge Metagross going for Earthquake himself. So that was my plan of starting off with those two. Now he goes for Protect right off the bat, and that worried me because I wasn't sure what to expect, and I went for Wide Guard, thinking that someone might want to Protect and Explode, but he just goes for Swords Dance. And that's a little bit worrying just from the sense that he's at +1 now, and +1 normal attacks, Hitmontop's not going to take those too well. Um, Fortunately, Close Combat is a clean 2-hit KO even though I have 0 attack investment in Hitmontop. And I'm normally pretty hesitant to go for those very early in the battle for just this reason. Without the -1 in special defense drop, I actually probably could have lived that Zen Headbutt. Although it is a Metagross stab, super effective, 130 base attack, maybe, but now he's in the range where he's going to be easy to revenge kill at least. And I went for a Dark Pulse, and I am able to take out that Licky Licky, excuse me. I'm able to take out those pancakes with a wave of evil thoughts. I hate pancakes. That's probably what my Tyranitar was thinking when I don't understand why it would hate pancakes. They're quite tasty. But that was able to take that out, so I don't have to deal with that threat. Now here I was hoping I could just protect and get off some good damage with Earthquake, but he's going to protect, and of course Rumble is levitating, so I'm not able to hit the Metagross, which was my main purpose in using Protect. Of course, if you only hit one Pokemon, you don't get your damage cut down like you would if you're hitting two at the same time. At least I believe that's how that mechanic works. With this Trick Room up, that Bronzong and the Metagross are now very fast, even though they're slow, but they're fast. And here, that was the air balloon popping. It did not occur to me that he would be heat proof with air balloon until I popped it. I was just doing that to pop the balloon to get him on the ground, but once I did that, it went dope in my head. He is heat proof. Now there, he probably missed just because I'm rocking Bright Powder alongside my Sandveil boost. So that's the most, and then of course Meteor Mash doesn't have perfect accuracy. And there he missed Meteor Mash off of the imperfect accuracy, but it's not going to matter at this point. I really can't do enough damage to either of these two bulky Pokemon to finish them off. Now Gyro Ball is not going to do that much damage because it's not super effective, but that doesn't really matter because Meteor Mash is able to clean it up. And so I do lose against Polirob in this battle, and I think I lost that based mainly off of my inability to adapt to the changing situations of the match. If I had played a little bit better that turn where his Metagross protected and he was still floating, if I had just popped the balloon right then, I would have been in a much better position. But I did enjoy that match.